Okay, here we are in Cursor. We go into week 6. We go into day 2. And welcome back to the Price is Right capstone project. And we are on day 2, data pre-processing. So here's the thing. What we're about to do is use an LLM to rewrite our data, in this case, the full description of products, into a format which is nice and tight and short and a really good description of that product, perfect for training. And in fact, in the future, when we're trying to do inference on new products we've never seen before, we can use that same pre-processing to rewrite anything in this same kind of structured format. So it's a really nice technique. It's a really good way of doing it. And this is something which, this idea of turning unstructured data into something structured in a particular format, it's something that was an unsolved problem only a few years ago. It just wasn't possible to do something like this. And now it's something that LLMs can just do in a heartbeat. It's so easy. And that's why we're going to do it. It's wonderful, and it definitely makes a big impact on the results. And if you're wondering why my results today are going to be better than they were a year ago, that's because I'm doing pre-processing. I didn't do this last time, and it's just such a powerful technique. Okay, and as I say, I'm also going to be using this technique called a batch mode, which is when you call an LLM not using the usual like openai.chat.completions.create, but you do it in batch mode, meaning that you queue up a large number of requests, you send it off to the LLM, and you come back and collect it later. And not only is that very convenient for coding, because you don't need to sort of sit there waiting, it's also a lot cheaper. In fact, most LLM providers offer this batch mode service at about half price. And indeed, we're going to be using Groq with a Q, the inference platform, not Elon's Groq. Groq with a Q we're going to be using with OpenAI's open source model. We're going to be doing that today. And Groq with a Q has batch mode, which is very, very similar to OpenAI's batch mode. They're basically the same thing. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we'll also be using Light LLM, if you remember Light LLM, because I love Light LLM. So again, the business value is that this is something which is a super powerful way to turn unstructured data, like our product descriptions, into something that's tight and more structured and parsed in a way that wasn't conceivable before. So we've got some imports here. And now this is the moment for you. You could choose, just watch what I do, because at the end, I'm going to upload a data set and you can just use what I upload at the end. Or you can choose to come in and do this in light mode. Have light mode equals true, and you'll be using that small subset, the 20,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 of the training, val, and test split. You can be using that data. Or if you turn light mode to false, you'll be using the big guy, and which I have done as well, but I won't do it right now. We'll use the little one for right now. You can do whatever of those you wish, but definitely watch me while I do this so you get a sense for it. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is load in the data set that I just uploaded yesterday. You remember the name of it was either items raw light, if it's the light one, or items raw full, if it's the full one. And I'm just going to load in the train, validation, and test data set and put that together and see what we get. In it loads. In comes all of our data right now. And there we go. We've loaded 22,000 items, which is the full population of the light data set. Okay, next up, I'm going to go through these items and I'm just going to assign each one a number, which is just what order it's in the list. Let me show what I mean by that. If I just look right now at the first of the items, it's got a field called ID, but that right now is set to none. After I run this, if I look at this ID again, it's now set to 0, and item number 1 is set to 1, and item number 2 is set to 2. And it's going to be handy when we get to batch mode, as you will see. All right, now on to the pre-processing. So here is a system prompt for you to look at. I'm saying, create a concise description of a product. Respond only in this format. Do not include part numbers. I've stripped some of them out, but there's still some that got through. Title, category, brand description details . Now, the people that in the know would point out that it's often better to ask models to respond in JSON rather than giving something with this sort of slightly janky format here. Models are great at generating JSON. And indeed, you can take it further and use a technique called structured outputs, in which models are required to respond in JSON. And that way, you can get very accurate results that fit exactly into one approach. And I did do that originally, and we will be using structured outputs in week 8. And I was going to do it here, but we're working with such a massive data set with so many items that it turned out that was quite expensive, because JSON has a lot of stuff to it. And there are some newish tricks to reducing the weight of the JSON. But actually, in our case, I made the decision to keep it really simple and just have it in this way. It works really well. If you were doing this for production and you had a bigger budget, you might choose to do this a JSON style instead. We'll do that in week 8. But for now, this approach works really nicely. It's low cost, it's fast, and it's going to work great for us right now. So that's my system prompt. So I can put that into some messages. And I can call Light LLM's completion. I'm going to use Groq with a Q. And remember, you could replace this with any model that you wish. Look in Guide 9 for a reminder if you want to see how to do that. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use GPT-OSS, the open source version of OpenAI's model. And it's just the smallest one. It's very cheap and it's very fast. And I'm going to print out what we get. And I'm also going to print how many tokens we used. And we'll do this for item 0. Let's just have a quick look at what item 0.full is. Items 0.full. So this is the stuff. Let's print it so we actually see it looking nice. Here we go. This is what it is. It's this F59 and 613 Andover interior knob with deadbolt, oil rubbed bronze interior half only. So you can see it's very unstructured. We've also got all of the different features and bits from the Amazon scrape like listed out here. So the question is, how is that going to look when we run it through an LLM, in fact, through OSS 20, and we give it this system prompt and then this item? That's what we're going to do now. Let's see what we get. Here we have it. I'm running it. And bam, we get back. Do you see how quick that was, by the way? Wasn't that crazy? We get back a title, Schlage F59 interior half knob, oil rubbed bronze, a single piece oil rubbed bronze interior knob that attaches to a deadbolt handle for added security. Features easy installation, a 4-inch minimum door prep, and a lifetime mechanical and finish warranty. And you can see this is great. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted. It's surely clear that this is going to be better. It's going to be easier for us to train a model to predict how much something costs based on this description than based on this janky stuff here with lots of things in it and far too much data. We've managed to make it much shorter and much tighter. There's a lot more signal for the noise in this rewritten description. And that's what pre-processing is all about. Use an LLM to update your data so that you form a version of it that is going to be best suited for training. That's what we've done. And you can see that there was 446 tokens input. At what came out was just 125 tokens. And that cost us all of 0.011 cents. And don't misread that. It's not $0.011. It's 0.011 cents. It's a 1/10,000th of a dollar. So it's definitely cheap. That's the great thing about OSS. But of course, the bad news is that particularly for the full data set, we've got a lot of this data. We've got 800,000 data points. And so unfortunately, it's a very small number times a very big number, ends up still being quite a big number. So we do need to be cost conscious, even with such cheap prices. Well, there's one way that we can be very cost conscious, and that is to use a free local model. Let's do that next.